What's up, you guys? So, Michael Darby, the husband of Ashley Darby from the Real Housewives of Potomac, is suing Candiace. He is suing Candiace Dillard Bassett for defamation. So, let's get into it. TMZ was able to get a copy of the lawsuit, and this is what they are reporting. Real Housewives of Potomac star Michael Darby is taking Candiace Dillard Bassett to court for defamation after she claimed he offered up cash to have sexual relations with another man. And according to the legal documents, Michael Darby is suing Candiace over comments she made during the latest season, season 7 of Real Housewives of Potomac, where Candiace didn't hold back in one of her many arguments with Ashley. Now, this is the episode, I believe it was called The Burn Session, and it was hosted by Wendy. They were in some type of barn house, and they were supposed to be putting everything out on the table. And y'all remember what Candiace put on the table. Candiace specifically said, your husband likes to leave you and go to a man named blank, they censored it out, house, and SHD. So that's all they show her saying in that moment. But then there's a confessional when Candiace is dressed like a villain, when she has on that red hoodie in the confessional, she speaks more about it. And she says, I was not supposed to talk about it, but this person says Michael Darby is a client of his. Now, client infers that there's a paying relationship. And so in Candiace's statements, you don't hear her saying like allegedly or anything to say that there's any doubt. She speaks as if she's speaking facts, which they may be facts, we don't know. But Candiace, the way she speaks is as if she's very sure of what she's saying. She rarely says allegedly, even in her tweets, like when she called Michael a predator around that same time, early November, she said Michael is a predator, ho. These are facts. So she says these are facts. Candiace is very straightforward about what she's saying, and she rarely says allegedly. And so Michael says that he sent Candiace a cease and desist letter earlier this year, earlier in 2023. He sent her a cease and desist letter about her comments, and she was supposed to retract her comments. Y'all know those cease and desist letters. I've received some myself, and a lot of times they want you to retract what you said. And I guess Candiace is like me, where she's like, I said what I said. And so she did not retract her statements. And so now Michael Darby is suing her for $2 million in damages. And I just want to remind you guys, this situation is the same situation that caused Michael Darby to allegedly run up on a woman that he thought was Candiace in the Bahamas. Candiace told a story time about when she was performing in the Bahamas last year in 2022, and Michael Darby happened to be at the same resort, and he verbally accosted a woman on her team, a black woman on her team, because he thought it was Candiace. I guess to him, all black women look alike, because he approached this woman and he verbally accosted her. He was verbally aggressive towards her, and it's over the same situation, over those comments that Candiace made about him having a paying relationship with some type of escort.
One of a friend of my managers was standing there, and one of the personnel from the resort, and it just was like a commotion. It was like something happened. I was getting ready to perform, so I was literally like in a zone. And when you're in a zone, the zone can't be permeated. So whatever was going on, I was like, well, no one said anything to me. There's no emergency. I was like dancing and like just trying to stay like ready to go out. So later found out that the commotion was someone from my team who is a black woman. We don't exactly look alike. She's a beautiful black woman though. Was working. She was like doing stuff to prepare for the show. And Michael walks up to her and starts verbally accosting her. making threats and just generally being inappropriate and incredibly disrespectful. I'm not going to say what was said, because at the end of the day, it's not really important. But it was enough to shake her up. And I found out she wouldn't even tell me what it was at first, because she was like, it's just too much. But she told me later. And I was disgusted. And that's the right word. I was disgusted. It was also kind of comical, just because you're like, how pathetic and just ridiculous can you be? Can you possibly be? The funny part about all of this was, as he is yelling at her and hurling insults and threats, she is saying, what are you talking about? I never did or said any of those things. What are you saying? And he says to her, oh, wait, I thought you were Candiace. And yeah. And my jaw hit the floor. He was, I believe, I did not see him, but from what I was told, he was under the influence. And I was just aghast. God blocked it, yeah. And really, honestly and truly, I am a very spiritual person. I'm a God-fearing woman. I came from Jesus, as you know. And it is quite literally a hedge of protection over myself, my husband, and Michael, that he was not speaking to me. I could almost have nightmares imagining what that scenario would have looked like had he actually been speaking to me. That is all I will say about that.
So Candiace doesn't say exactly what he said to the person on her team, but it almost sounds like that person might be able to sue Michael too, not for defamation, but if he was threatening her. And that's what it sounds like. It sounds like he was threatening her. At this point, Candiace hasn't spoken on the lawsuit, but I will definitely keep you guys updated when she does. What do you think about him suing Candiace and Candiace not responding to the cease and desist? Do you think she'll respond to the lawsuit? Do you think he has a chance of winning the lawsuit? Because I hear it's very hard to prove defamation. So leave a comment and let me know what you think about it. As always, thanks for watching.